black women built this country. It all started right here between the blue, gray, black, with the pink, honey, brown, paling, contracts, vanilla legs. Wasn't the Declaration of Independence or Constitution that started to give birth to America was rather the black vagina that laid the bull neck, or with the chattel slave. That's right, during America's formative years, most valued property to be produced. The property, the entire economy was based on the property of slaves. $12 billion worth. One can't begin to fathom today's dollars. Where did it all come from? Whose vaginas passed $12 billion? Whose vaginas were capitalized, colonized, and moralized to give birth to America? Whose vaginas were appropriated, syndicated, deprecated, but never ever vindicated the process of building this country? The black vagina, the vagina that was left all was loved and protected and respected, and it wasn't just open, occupied, and taken at will. And the law made it that way. Black women couldn't be raped, doesn't matter a lot of the old days. The law said that rape is something that only happened to white women, not the black women. Politics must begin from the position of the black matrix or the black woman who's located the structural position of rape. This conception does not formulate rape as an incident which happens one or more of the people, rather the very condition of being a black woman by extension of slaves in which those slaves built. The world in which those slaves built. Abolition says no slave, no world. We say no black woman, no slave, and no world. Let's change the first week. Flexing debt-taking communal concept upon this freedom and clauses how debt value defining democracy, capitalism, organized two determined phenomena, democracy, value defining freedom, captivity, human and false labor, freedom, flight, freedom, productivity, conflict, or symbol of material subjugation, further and capital, race to take over, race over shadows, race to change, race to gender differences, maximum class suffering, only black female, trans black male, bringing the massive person, stop and prison, violence, and public race, rape, is near overall blood traceable, so trace back to black nature, focus on the natures of subject natures, contemporary material spaces, colonization, segregation, black female, speech, dead, and public records, black nature, self-design, city, and violence, so distributed, Western democracy, manufactured, black nature, disposable, and then only basic material economy. So those times of degradation and alienation were the old days. We can rest assured now, right? We finally got the respect that we've been talking about all these years, or did we? As a black woman received the respect she deserves, even today, or respected when those women for our body against our will, at least like to be prosecuted, at least like to be convicted, or we respected when black trans women have 50% of the homicide rate for convictions, but those murders is less than 5%. Or we respected when no one seems to care about what happens to our bodies in our own communities, right here in Harlem. It's black women respected when everyone knows the names. So Michael Brown, John Crawford, Eric Garner, but no one knows the names of Mia Henderson, Tiffany Edwards, and Bernie Sturgeon. This is black women respected when our community readily embraces those accused of rape, chastise, and for not having good sense of people, or no business being up there with them, being 2 in the morning, working foolish, not to know their brother's true intentions were. Are we respected when politicians trip over themselves, trying to be tough on black women by some miracle they are convicted and only receive 1/5 of the sentence of those who rape white women by embracing the punitive policies to sew up and shut down these women now our laborers that need anymore? That all black women have been defined as prostitutes, while the dreams of black sex workers have been rendered invisible in politics, respectability, or clear intent. The black prostitute battles over women's sexuality, African American pole arms, black women, all black women have seen the prostitute page, black women in prostitution during defensive activity to have respect for black women, black prostitutes, and so remaining silent in the public shares of public discourses through the silence of black prostitution, created 20th century discussions about the class of blacks and virtues of health, black women's silence, essential in politics, respectability, organizing black reluctant to start to refer to prostitute silence is also cheaper or person past experiences of American, African American women, and you mentioned black sex workers has to contribute black attention to black role to play in the 20th century urban sex economy. Anti-blackness, anti-domestic politics, respectability, uniquely for ignoring the experience of black trans women. This violence in civil society magnifies anti-blackness in this one year. That's 2014. Tiffany Edwards, ECW, Sydney Henderson, bringing culture to Carl, for example, young black men to face that astronomical rate of violence, Islam, racism, sexism, self-mirroring, colorism, and causing economic violence. There are so many intersecting questions, one directly clips when violence on black trans women is discussed, and anti-blackness is self-delusional way, which is socially acceptable. These are depression, blocking in general, being amplified for black trans women in the final, even that anti-blackness world allows to be the final act of black people, these women are gender and need to be social kind of gender and community, honor and respect, and honor for harassment, domestic violence, sexual assault, police harassment, police brutality, extrajudicial violence, execution, or discussed with black trans women, exclusive, not included, and the one you see politic of illicit routing system is essential to challenging trans and social American, compromise the needed space to be right, messy struggle, complicated politics, needed space to discuss the unspoken, uncomfortable dark truths, needed space to challenge the exceptionalism of policies and attitudes of gender and black womanhood. You should orient your ballot towards the politics, respectability, that perpetuates the liberal economy of anti-black consumption, devalues black human bodies through battle imagery, objectification, cultural shaping, and manifests itself policy, regulation, and sexual future, reject their framing of our bodies and endorse methodology, hypersexual autonomy, economy's representation of the intent. African American homosexuality is now in terms of justification of bodies and systematic sexual economy, slavery, black women, education, black women's psychological training, bodies, time women, black women, feminine actions, black sexuality, consistent sexual economy, case of wide surface of black sex, decency, women's finding sexual economy, has not been easy to erase or abroad, addressing issues of sexuality and gender, freedom of being sex, heterosexual narrative, public respectability, have a blood accessible for the sexuality, and black women's life, sexuality and deviance as being just marginalized as one deviate from public sexuality, someone participating non-normative sexuality, including queer, constructive public sexuality, repressive, and aspects of female sexuality, non-brainless, demonstrated pleasure, exploration, and agency of under-analyzed, which interrogate acceptance, desire, change, fetishes, expressions, black sexual subjects, as well as their white, male, queer, consumer, and the figure of the prostitute is a racialized, socialized, deviant body that does not conform to the norms of accepted behavior, which makes her monstrous being the subject of autonomy. Convergence and representation contains prostitute and the deviant black body, with the bodies that engage prostitution, face prostitution, racialized, regardless of the actual use of prostitution, non-normative female bodies, and continuation, their deployment of social monster bodies, racialized, other sick, disabled, plus person, normal, concept of clean, proper body, and understanding work is so powerful that she dangerously processes the spectacular body of the prostitute, provokes the fascination for the dangerous prostitute, causes subject of the primary, for women in certain public bodies and certain public spaces are always already to address this dangerous and endanger and the policing of prostitution perpetuates racialized violence as we can talk 92. In the U.S., prostitution, the U.S. policing prostitutes degeneracy, black immigrant migrant prostitutes are subjected to systematic harassment of police who control prostitutes to cover policing migrant immigrant working class communities, male and female dependent zones, cities, sexually given penetrating black body policy through prostitutes who are poor and black, making most vicious French and war in the U.S. Women in Colombia got 55% of those sent to jail in New York, thereby ensure that the war black women racial rights and decriminalizing women of color as well as perpetuating racism in the sex industry in the U.S. And after 400 years, this is the respect we've been waiting for? I don't think so. So here's an idea. The next time you're rebuilding RES, the ECT, let's read for an owner proclaim it as our national anthem for black women, for black vaginas, because we know that respect only goes out to those who demand and refuse to live it out. So from Rome to Los, from Memphis to Detroit, from Darby to Beijing, from Kingston to Jerusalem, our voice and our command be heard. Respect is vaginas. In the battle cry for respect, black women represents a pivot towards the list of raw systems, self-autonomy, which is key to challenge paternalistic representation, black female body, disrupt rural economies of white desire, self-modification, best methodology, recognizing pleasure, black female sex work, discuss the shared survival, and act of self-expressive raw desire, taking intent. Black women, sexuality, working off informal economies, and sales, sexual labor is also many girl part of the evolution. Many federal working class and dragons are predominant in the list of process on choose qualities, respectability, free vast array, forbidden sexual desire, fantasy, practice, that black subjects, and loyal slaves, the teachers, and perpetrating sexual harassment, offers a framework to understand the black subject, and the labor economy, and illicit harassment, come out, black women, and marginalized formal labor, marketplaces, or processing, compensating, white women, formal lynchment, labors, including illicit racism, workers, and political sexual capital counts, knowledge, perform sexual service on working, the economy, increasing the communication of intimacy, or social, so it shows off the logic, respectability, semblance, normativity, black women, and multiple cultural, social boundaries, and mobilizing their racialized sexuality for work to demand for their sexual vehicle to reduce themselves as their defenses, selective gratification, self-modification, culture, and creative engagement with capitalism, industrialism, and the prostitute, controlling neatness, black women's bodies are always already hyper-visible and status quo, and their sexuality is rendered illicit, only harnessing sexual disability, allowing black women to cultivate agency over their own desire and self-expression. That's the intent. Participating in continuing sex labor of black women strategically limited by the illicit erotic economy for their survival, autonomy, and well-being. Black women are motivated by what is considered high, flexible income over working, offering with recognition of their erotic embodiment and sexual talents. This kind of sexual subject visibility, desire, black women, sexual power, of erotic made popular by black actresses and entertainers, sexual outlets, and paying for a little emergency.
Very good. Okay, so what's a vagina?
Right, our argument is that vagina is a word that's through which black sexuality is possible.
Okay, so when you call for information on black women and black vagina, what does that mean?
Right, our argument is that blackness is seen as deviant by civil society. Black sexuality is, the aspect of sexuality which is non-normative to civil society. Our argument is that we should embrace the deviant, that civil society places bodies as deviant because they're black.
Well, what do you mean? I'm more interested in what you mean when you say black women and black vaginas.
Our argument is that, well, the top part of what we see is a description of the way that vaginas have been used to reproduce for civil society, for black women as the way that civil society has defined it. Our argument is that civil society maintains the idea that a vagina is a woman and a man is, somebody with a penis as the
What is the distinction between a black woman and a black vagina?
Right. Our argument is that there's not a distinction in the world of the act, in the world of the distinction that civil society places.
In the world of the act, there is no distinction.
Our argument is that black women
have vaginas.
Okay. When you affirm the prostitute, do you also affirm black prostitutes who don't have vaginas?
Our argument is that, what?
Do you also affirm prostitutes who are black who don't have vaginas?
When we affirm the black prostitute that can come in a range of ways, we've given a descriptive way of the way that civil society oppresses black women in the status quo by defining vaginas as what it means to be women. We think that's fucked up, and that's why people like Britney Spears, Tiffany Edwards, etc. are excluded from civil society in the context of money because they don't reproduce in civil society. We think that's a fucked definition of what it means to be a woman.
Okay, can I ask a question? I agree with all of that.
Me too.
So what is the distinction then that you're drawing between a woman and a vagina?
Right, we are not drawing a distinction. Our argument is that civil society, I've given you a descriptive claim of the way that civil society defines what it means to be a woman in the status quo.
Right.
We said that excludes black trans women in the way that they operate, which is why we don't affirm Britney Edwards, Tiffany.
Okay, what does affirming a prostitute do to break down the distinction between a black vagina and a black woman?
Right, our argument is that affirming that blackness is deviance allows us to realize that sexuality is not, that being
Does affirming
non-normative
that blackness is deviance resolve the violence faced by all prostitutes?
resolve the violence.
So
Our argument is that
so-
a uniqueness question the way that violence operates. Our argument is that we give an understanding of the way that our understanding allows us to create meaning outside of the signs and symbols that civil society is placed upon bodies. That's good.
So the one is that there's a uniqueness question about violence operating against prostitute's body. We say that there's a psychic internalization of that in the politics perspective, that I am not this, I am this, that internal negotiation. The one AC affirms that antagonism to produce your own sets of signs and symbols of meaning. So, right, so when society's like, you the sexualized black or doesn't know, I was like, you don't even know what I have redefined or what that means to me, because civil society is always gonna tell me about that shit. What I tell myself
Our argument
is what we're talking about.
I don't want that.
You gonna be okay, bro?
Can we do an email sharing?
Yeah, let me bring a file.
I need to use this paper with our emails on it.
Yeah,
Sorry, I can't. It's like a flashlight.
Yeah, her computer literally just.
we usually struggle with it, so.
No, wait, I forgot. There's
You never got anything like
no, it's because it was on paper. Yeah, so
That's why I needed to
Yeah.
this paper with our emails, because you.
we're good.
that? Sorry about that. Not what I'm doing today.
It's showing down. Come on.
Yeah,
Y'all get that?
Yeah. Yeah. I just got it.
yeah, I got it.
I shot it.
Yeah, I got that. Good.
Trans people are divided subjectivity and sexual status quo. We are objecting the manner in which it constructed the discourses are deeply consultancy on behalf of the subject litigation affirming the prostitute. This methodology is not perceived from the people calling critical relation to structure of domination. This denies the formats of trans people trans regimes fundamentally differ from others. Trans bodies, aside from our perfection of domination, come to be overwhelmingly in a transgender gender have a lot of people the definition from the from rural island for samurai for
cause murder, the root cause of victims that come from the world, that no one has teachers, surveys, and transgender people are grossly overrepresented in prisons and jails. Standards where close to 1 in 2 transgender people have been in prison or in jail as most to resort to private most extreme issues, transport violence and harassment from prison walls, abuse that is proved without fighting or state government trans for people in prison or on legally murder changes are avoided physical training, the side effects of healthcare is not most restrictions, physical psychological, or just administration government. Racial protection, through discriminatory policies of rape that place as gender by discrimination, not able to access healthcare illegal means very income is hereby state for revolving door restriction people living on the everyday experience passing life and being locked in debt, even by society unidentified man versus woman is found landing to a meaningful against healthcare personnel and for being treated basically to walk down the street. And their second argument is this sideline of trans identity is merely the next phase of the process of trans rights constitutional laws developed under the basic support laws regulate something processing, and this has been considering the system of Texas gender binary 2013. Gender is divided regulate class and race through heroin to regulate someone that was between on the active quite literally certain work for cancer looking these you can require in one place in a state of unity in order for something to sex. You heard the law from some of these places. California has a lot of individual for masquerading and the person's hair. Both allowed to use the classes which was by laws were enforced. Which is part of the massive splinters and personal the anger directing officer and 9 people. The police are described for the reporting people just like the actual list from year I turned 53 people with dressing disguising their sex and laws and in fact enforcing disciplinary directed gender being adult male mental one dressing a man.
Yeah, market man. And 3. This is a merely reflexive ontological condition whereby heterosexual autonomy desire captures providing represent as advocate except for non-fixed marks by colleagues vulnerability by half like the operation of law in the state and field, the foundation articulating justice and criminality mystifies the integrity. So this is not a human process, it is the operation of the nation underlying all political process in Rule 11. If government expresses certain the name that's not pronounced the other like or alien or excuse me, integral positions doesn't racial here, and that's our classic slave what he wants to place from slave not running to the war. I'm not war is how one of every process of itself. I think about one that close have to be class how like expressive and non-existence of both design and neurons or everything but this colonization then the dimension of space and non-existence rendered there. The nation working at some forces on protection of space and non-existence near like what the insequel balance allows us to understand what is so clear against a lot of categories of circular and allows us to reduce all the mechanism crystallizing the uncomfortable discursive and material structure the render of the body with specific types of place the nothing of the original realization and understood as established words in place of question not simply an opposite category equally much by back right source that seeks to further criminal care of nothing is producing or not only by stable organizations so not get quite like before my just taking any at all on board. This is a tiebreaker. The moment of the abolition, the movement to the abolition
prison must proceed from the starting point of queer trans women. Their use of is not only professional, but rather engaging with participants for close alternative ages. White cis hetero society projecting the vulnerability on trans women because this is a better developing which are really critique in site A because having the secret incarceration like this color have not always have not always centered gender sexual analysis have generally over state women made it they focus on our brothers and sisters rape I not receive carry percent members of like in warfare movement not address strategies for addressing forms of violence including street harassment, sexual harassment, rape, partner abuse. The anti-person movement has said about and seeking women anti-person movement has failed to significantly organize the forms of state on stage by helping by lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex communities, street and trans people in particular in general. Small numbers of population how these cases could be addressed. Market address and the alternative is abolition of ethnic gender self-determination, driving into multiple strands, anti-colonial black trans queer and anti-capitalist critique, the political orientation, normalizing projects incarceration are the best position from which to create a collective movement, uniting the abolition of overlapping oppressions, only starting from gender self-determination, body standing for me. Gender self-determination is like acts against practices of present determination, index of private health care, free of birth reference, politics, the uncomfortable, live the dream of life, it is imperial, but they rely the expectation and proliferate helps us resist victories, work to translate and in terms of my case, neoliberalism might be dangerous, however, it's not the individual collective self-knowledge position always works before and otherness is indicated of the outbreak for an argument extremely judgment, refusing to take substitution and supreme power and is affected by practical theories of self-information on comparison ongoing and colonial cognitive and nature the movement concepts are so polarizing the unpleasant classes in itself doesn't is current in abolition to center a level black and already inside the rules must be drawn together with severe liberation market, gender liberation, and okay. Your historiography does not solve or like articulate techniques your methods necessarily in technology. It'll also be linked to your affirmation philosophies articulate or embody you attempt to articulate since society is doing the process. My argument is that
Black women walk in the world sexualized.
Yeah.
Why is that not embodied?
I don't understand that.
It's not an argument, it's a question.
Yeah, I mean it is.
So what's the argument about how not all prostitutes are embodied?
The argument then is that not all prostitutes are black women, right? And that they're
Not all people who sell ass are black women. Got it. Second question. What's the argument historiography doesn't solve?
That's about fees.
Yeah.
The way that you present an account of vaginal appropriation historically is one that we object to because of trans history.
What's a vagina?
I have no idea. I don't try to stand on vagina.
But go ahead.
I don't think that's
Okay,
a problem.
I guess let's have a discussion the question of prostitution versus prostitute. Do you think that there's a difference between sex work and the body as a living student?
Yeah, and we understand that the app isolates that differential. Our argument then is that your reference of affirming the prostitute necessarily is not perceived from the subject location that is articulated by the
Does come from a subject location or does not?
Does not.
Okay, what does it mean a yeah, I agree. It doesn't come from a subject location.
We say that your history should start from the perspective of trans women of color. It should start there, it should end there. That is the place where you can
start
see the most
there.
gender
And
violence.
your evidence indicates that Black experiences and the experience of Black trans women are ignored by civil society because of the way that it operates.
Not by civil society, by person abolition movements.
Well, and civil society.
Right, I guess that is prison and abolition, including the prison act.
Because ours is a trans prison abolition rooted in the experience of trans women of color
Abolition
and their
of
unique
prisons, I guess,
vulnerabilities to
let's
violence.
just say what?
It is rooted in trans women of color, their unique vulnerabilities to violence, the way we
In-
so complex
in-
and directly targets that population of people
Right.
is one that we should look at first.
Sounds good. I guess let's have a discussion of the link to the money C. The money C says that, it says that we should be able to create new signs and symbols for the way that sexuality operates in the status quo. The alternative says that we need to create new understanding of the self-determination regarding how we relate to sexuality. How is that
No,
not
I
different
think
yet?
mischaracterize the alternative.
What do you think it
It's
is?
exclusivity. It's the idea that gender self-determination is something that's profoundly personal, but also produces an ontological moment, such that for the Pink Panthers, they play up their femininity to scare cisheads, right? For the Black Panthers, they play up their masculinity.
So we perform our sexuality to change the way.
We're
that
not
self-
performing sexuality, we are enacting gender self-determination. Gender is not sexuality. This is the primary objection of our critique to your app. The
Right,
focus on
I agree,
sexuality
I
along
agree.
with
You
gender.
just said that you should engage in reactionary forms of politics to civil society
Yeah,
and
I don't
join
think
up
it's
to build
reactionary.
community.
I don't think it's reactionary.
To build up community, you don't think that?
So the alt works that you affirm prisons should not exist, and then the starting point for that analysis is.
We affirm
Some-
gender self-determination as a methodology of abolishing prisons.
Okay, like confinement prisons, like in some systems.
Like a world of cages, we object to the
Like
confinement
physical
of
cages, like where they lock things up, but cages.
cages, prisons, systems of
But you
incarceration,
keep saying
sites
these
of
words like they mean the
captivity.
same thing.
It's a prison industrial
Right, I'll
complex.
thank you though. Yeah. We come from the time of black and slaves, raped by white masters, persecuted United States government, realizing people keep being violent, horses, manipulated, war, vicious, actually come from the time of black girls, so white, tall, more nicer than black ones, black girls, feel the nurse, their beauty. Come from a time of black women not even allowed to participate in guys, we still need to realize what it means for a black woman to have breasts to take a face, to be recognized for her acting on the role of the balance, to increase the message of the balance, to bring the cost of this society question, that investing in the balance, without any black family, any $1 amount of treat themselves to the violence committed against the prostitute's body. These attacks move to racial and social solutions that demonize the black woman as dirty, dangerous, needy, and criminal design. And if once there are free, and that's the ones who the criticism doesn't solve first the question of material, better than they have condemned. The piece of young women says that black women can use things like sexual performances in the work of the body and sexual in order to make material be able to they can feed themselves and their bodies. This is especially consistent with the unique study we conceded about the marginalization in the formal labor of how the black women experience that the second argument is a question of pleasure and desire. The other evidence is there are black women in the status quo who have internalized politics to respect humility and distance themselves from their pleasure and the desire and the embodied nature of their body. We say that we repudiate these type of respectability policies, creating signs and symbols for what that pleasure means as an act of creating the one is the one is the alternative. This is coming first. The last argument is a question of beauty and community building, which the alternative. The alternative cannot access this. We say it's a question of creating a compatible strategy where we can have a space to talk about these things at the very. This is the benefits why the evidence preferable to the alternative of the historiography argument is not. It says the vagina appropriation argument answer the critique, but it says that all prostitutes are not embodied. This argument makes sense in the context that we're not talking about prostitutes as those who sell acts of sexuality, but rather the body itself is sexualized body. This is the articulation of how there is a Jezebel nanny trope that black women are always hypersexualized in the structural position of racial where black women have to burn more black men and more black women in order for civil society to kill out there. The structural hit point of fungibility, which is conceded in at least the one team out there. It's also a reason why you prefer the affirmative to the alternative, or at least a combination of the sexualized embodiment is given asexualized focus on the body, i.e. absent things like sexuality and gender, which I obviously understand are deceiving in terms of public private divided the James that is criticized. We say, not the club. We're all this communication specific questions to political strategy and unfit questions to be able to live in the world yet, despite the occasional use to make these most use of this desexualized tendency to disregard sexuality and most of private action or even discussing sexuality is very present in political thought or action or conjuring any document representation of how we might express sexuality as political legislation provides a bit of mass new evaluation. Countering the vital meaning of social question shared and connected sexual identities, kind of political imaginary brings strange of social sexual question is unveiled social policy means the community but has been deemed a private doesn't political
when you look at the literature on sexual ideas, sexual identity, it's so in relation to discuss the politics of sexuality, sexuality seems to be not materialized bodies remain outside the religious sexuality is a contention that a general failure to bodies and social interaction community amounts to read the constitution of the public-private above the person or permutation. You can affirm a process that you can engage in a process of gender self-definition. There is no Lincoln Lacey does not affirm the constitution, which is the content of their papers. Evidence that this can't condemn side politics respectively that police is addressed against transgender bodies. Now, there's also don't turn on me here because you're a piece of that ethical abolition argument is challenging the person-industrial complex, i.e. challenging the physicality of actual persons which should be reinvested in the political institution. Now, I'm saying you need to switch the way things off that politics will trade us, politicians will trade practice for votes, that there will always be a misappropriation of how your personality movement is true. That means the relevant part of the alternative is the question of gender, self-definition of black sexuality. It's critical to formulating black power, engaging in the process of gender, self-definition, determining definition, comprise the very identity categories of cause violence about making influence God into the twinning of blackness and sexual also always to contain the forces of articulating in which to control eruptions of carbon. It can be promote black sexuality, can be a vehicle for black freedom and power, and activity and professional constantly even through it, especially through employment initiatives of sexuality frequently. The very means more freedom and that power is articulating a drawing to the normative sexuality and sexual practices divided by terrorists, doubly queer represented history that produces blackness in the sexual history of state population level manipulations of sex reproductive pleasure, producing capacities, racialized slavery with impacts of physical and domination, enslaved rather than liberate communities who are racialized bodies giving the enjoyment of certain kind of queer freedom possible and particularly about our community rather than the list of few personalities and getting information strategy. Thus, often the people nonetheless may offer helpful information and caring for the population to examine the polarities effects not only for the purpose of demonstrating their injuries outcomes, but how to see how the effects and needs of the injuries themselves make themselves tools that can be used to either model or serve to mean the political transformation. There's also notice the first piece of the evidence is about how black trans women have experienced in industrial complex different. Okay, it's not a point of competition. It's also about the physical negatives of avoiding the jail, not the ontological person of the structural rape of skin. And this is talking about their stellium, there's no list of evidence. Hegel, and how he assumed the queer body is, and how he's not assumed the queer body in his dialect of history of power. Now, this isn't just a smear shout out, when we see the truly evidence is there, misgendering of trans women, even after definite anti-blackness code, the types of ways that her body is treated. There is a historical register, there is an intersectional register, which is alternative does not come to birth. There's not much attention here in terms of the link they were sweat at permutation. The result of the alternative doesn't solve the act of getting out of prison. It's not child respectability, called gender self-definition is the problem that the definition and determination is the process of the way same cross-examination that we will be coded a certain way against the science question of how we internalize that. It adds to all the impacts of the critique about how psychic violence operates and how you feel demoralized when you leave the industrial complex to go out and engage in society or build community. We solve all of that shit now. They say that abolition is after gender self-determination. The Stanley evidence is also known as the Stanley evidence. The permutation doesn't resolve that. All the links to the case are you have the vagina appropriation celebrating the pussy or the vagina. It's not assuming specific sensory gender. There's no trade-off between celebrating women with vaginas and celebrating trans bodies. Women can have vaginas and it's not just the thing between my leg. It's like 2 years ago when I read vagina analysis, said the word vagina when the truth about what vagina is past 9 and she herself picture over 51% of population vaginas towards almost and may have immediately the state not being comfortable or down the Asian ship those 2 years ago. I was transgender women decided to do all trans production on my they already model to activists around the world. This is a deliberate decision on my part to encourage communities to address the needs and realities of transgender community. I don't know how to play out what it means to be a woman. It is always the head of play out what it means to have a vagina. I've never defined a woman's way as a person who tried to vagina inclusion. It doesn't come from using knowledge or distinctive experiences and trying to listen to the United States, creating loving space for people with vaginas and women who have them. There's our questions, desires, and simultaneously honor the fact that gender is not based on anatomy or genitalia. The way it's not say gender is a form of sexuality, but rather a performance, a system of social conscience that is not into our biological parts of the black person. It's not exist in an ontological position. We do not deny the experiences of trans black women. When we say that the trans body is one that is in a form of continued violent malignancy, continue to mask themselves within the terrain of subjectivity and research your community against the access of the same which impact terms of critique and is a disadvantage to the alternative word. People to the black person because that's how the meaning of humans who graduated to a certain the natural conceptual presentation.
about gender self-determination. It's a collective proxies against the brutal practices, which is the language of evidence, which is all the things that learn from top to see.
My first question is just like, y'all in the process, everyone is the, make this argument, that there's an inability to relate to their bodies are equivalent to right?
True.
Okay.
I do like this as a thing.
Yeah, so then what is it that we have?
Okay, this is where I'm going to explain one more time.
I know.
It's a question of internal, internal registers and psychic violence. We say that there are a myriad of unique concerns that the Lancey offers about how individuals will script us, how institutions, how family structures, how we will always be trapped in this sort of oscillation of just about any. And it's a question of how we internalize that. The central question of the Lancey is respectability politics, how we police or self-discipline ourselves in our community, and how we have conversations.
So then is the Lancey method or is it?
I mean, we are two black women that we
No,
need to
I
act.
get that, but is it a question of just like how you all can claim that symbolically themselves?
No,
It's
So
not
you're
a form of reclamation,
so-
because that assumes that we are in the world, right?
Yeah,
So
so-
there's something for us to take. It's a question of creating outside. That's a crucial
So
distinction.
so your method then is an advocacy for people who are not yourselves, to engage in a way of creating a new system.
we have provided a methodology that we think is accessible to all bodies that are labeled as deviant. Those bodies who are seen as deviant in civil society who
Okay.
understand the black matrix and create new signs and symbols, refusal to self-internalize shit that civil society has done. The least and I can relate to this argument,
No, I got
being
it,
that
I got
there are two black women
No,
in civil
I'm
society.
aware of all those things, I mean.
Sounds good.
Maybe I'm confused now.
No,
Shit
I'm-
myself, 'cause I don't understand the question.
No, my question is literally just clarifying questions so I can just have on paper, right?
Write it down. That's
And
next.
I did, so my next question. Like similar, my next question. is like-
Don't tell me the center.
Okay.
This is me center. That was rude.
Well, I mean,
This actually is really something.
I know,
Don't tell me.
do you remember the last time we debated?
I do. You can shake hands over. Next question. I'm ready if you're ready.
Yeah, what is the ontology of the process here?
It's the James evidence. The James evidence says that they're in a structural position of fungibility, that their bodies become fungible, one, through reproduction, and two, through racial rate. And so there's obviously a portion of that that we're talking about historically, which is not applicable to trans women, but there's a talking and discussion about racial rate that's certainly applicable.
What mechanisms ensure that ontology?
Civil society.
Yeah, but like, I mean, what, where, like, just like,
Where?
a couple of things, like, I mean, our one and C is taking a stance on like statutes that, you know.
The one AC talks about how law is problematic. It talks about how politicians will trade blackness for votes because it's seen as another way to switch criminality. It talks about how our bodies are not worthy. I can describe things like heteronormative family institutions, how capital, how systems of education, everything, again, everything, it all, everywhere.